What's quaking, people? Count Richter Quake here with my review of My Hero Academia Chapter 302. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that notification bell for more otaku and nerd culture content. The chapter opens up with a continuation of the flashback from the previous chapter. After Toya's outburst, Shoto's siblings were no longer allowed to interact with him. Endeavor tells Rei to keep an eye on Toya, and she tells him that all Toya wants is for his father to acknowledge him. Endeavor says all he could show Toya is the life of a hero, a life that he is not suited for. Rei ridicules Endeavor, saying that he's not acting like a hero. This seems to be the beginning of the fission between Rei and Endeavor. We jump forward 5 years. Natsuo and Fuyumi ask Toya to play with them, and we see that iconic scene of the 3 children playing in the yard, while Shoto is ushered away by Endeavor to train. Shoto begs his father to let him play with them just this once, but Endeavor refuses, saying he doesn't live in the same world as they do. We then see Toya at nighttime, venting his frustrations to Natsuo, who seems annoyed by it. This brings Toya to tears as he begs Natsuo not to ignore him. He says only he can understand. The next panel shows Rei trying to convince Toya not to go to the hill and train again. She tells Toya that he looks like he's in so much pain, and that there's more to the world than just Endeavor and his ambitions. This causes Toya to snap at his mother, saying she had a hand in making him this way as well, not just Endeavor. After all, wasn't that the whole purpose of their marriage in the first place? The scene then cuts to Toya training on the hill. A bit of exposition reveals that his body has been rapidly growing and changing due to puberty, and that his flames have changed from red to blue. One of the biggest pieces of evidence there was against the Dabi is Toya theory for all these years was the fact that if Toya had blue flames, surely Endeavor and his family would realize that Dabi was him. This revelation fills that plot hole. Well, sort of. More on that in a minute. Excited, Toya tells Endeavor to meet him on the hill during the next break so that he can show him his achievements. He wants to show Endeavor that he wasn't a mistake. Endeavor sees Toya's fresh burns and, furious, yells at Rei for not stopping him and watching him like he told her to, but she couldn't stop him. Toya waited on the hill for his father, but he never showed up. Endeavor didn't want to encourage him. Toya sat alone, crying, his emotions welling up until he erupted into flames that he couldn't control. It's worth noting that we see his flames ignite under his eyes as he's crying before it erupts everywhere else. This is more than likely the burning of his tear ducts that Dabi mentioned in chapter 267, rendering him unable to cry ever again. This was the 3rd time we saw Toya cry this chapter, and this eruption of emotion manifested into an uncontrollable inferno that burned away the old Toya and begat the cold-hearted Dabi. The hill went up in flames as the people in town looked on in horror, including Endeavor. He desperately searched through the ashes, but Toya was gone. Endeavor explains that after that incident, he couldn't back off from training Shoto. He would obsess over training him correctly. Toya's disappearance pushed Rei even further to the brink of her sanity. She began to see Endeavor's image in the other children. We all know what that led to. Fuyumi admits that she didn't have the courage to approach Rei even though she saw her suffering. And Natsuo says that if he had only been there for Toya, maybe there would be no Dabi today. Rei tells Endeavor that the burden of Dabi is all of theirs to bear, and that Shoto, the child who was put through the most suffering, has brought them back together again and has become their own hero. Shoto reaches his hand out to his father and tells him that they're going to fight Dabi together. Hawks and Best Jeanist are shown to be standing outside the room listening as Endeavor is heard through the door bellowing his iconic Shoto yell. Shoto! This chapter made me emotional on so many levels. Toya just wanted to be recognized by his father, and the neglect drove him closer and closer to madness until that final moment of abandonment sent everything literally up in flames. I also love the role reversal between Rei and Endeavor here. Rei had always been the weak and passive one, while Endeavor was strong and stern, but now we see Endeavor breaking down and vulnerable, while Rei is the one with the powerful resolve. It was always interesting to me that Endeavor, with his fire quirk, was always so cold to his family, while Rei, with her ice quirk, was warm and loving. Now it seems they're both beginning to embrace the other's characteristics in a way. This chapter ends in a beautiful blossoming of Shoto's character development over the last 300 chapters. We have followed him throughout his journey as he came to first accept his father's quirk, then forgive his mother, then come to rebuild his respect for his father, and now he stands here with an outstretched hand, ready to fight side by side with Endeavor to take down Dabi. The boy who was born with a perfect fusion of both Rei's and Endeavor's quirks has become the catalyst that has pulled the family back together. Dare I say poetic. Hashtag Shoto will be the next Endeavor. Now, the reason I say the reveal that Toya's flames didn't start out blue doesn't completely fill in the plot hole that his family didn't recognize him is because his flames had already turned blue by the time that he burned the hill down. So wouldn't the flames engulfing the hill be blue? So then wouldn't Endeavor put 2 and 2 together, at least suspecting that Dabi killed Toya? Let me know what you think. And that's the end of the chapter. What was your favorite part? And how do you think the eventual showdown with Dabi will end? Let me know in the comments section below. And with that being said, I've been Count Richter Quake, and I hope you have a seismic day.